What do you say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of time. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got a soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? When your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got a soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. Hey now, cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. Ooh, cannonball. Woo-hoo. Cannonball. Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F1 2017 Season 15, Round 15, the grand finale here at Interlagos in Brazil. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box for the final time this season, I am always happy to say my faithful companion. It is Mr. Hamish Upwith.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Round 15, Sao Paulo. What a track. It's one of the fastest tracks in terms of time. You see Brandon Lee getting a 1 minute 08.1. That's a little bit quicker than Marcel Kiefer. Last year's pole was Mr. Carl Hamilton. That's a 108.173. So that time's already been broken. So it'll be interesting to see what if any of the drivers can even get a 107. That would be quite an achievement, Kodiak.
That it would. Those that were looking throughout the introduction will have noticed the sponsorship by Elgato and, of course, Hype Energy are our main sponsors here. Of course, Elgato do some very quality products. The Stream Deck and the green screen being amongst their itinerary. Have a look at their website. Link in the description for further details about that. So we have indeed got Brendan Lee on the top spot, 108.119. And Carrie's still on track. He is. He's red fuel lights. I suspect he is going to come in.
Taylor is on a hot lap, I think, Kodiak.
He came out a little bit later, so there he is. He's just come through turns 4 and 5. I believe, yep, so starting to come up. The Ferragura, turn 6. This driver's favourite, beautiful Interlagos. Very, very prone to rain. Look at the sky, actually. It's very, very heavily laden with clouds. So we will see if that is the one that is... see if we're going to get some rain. We have got 16 drivers. I'm glad to see that most of the split has come out in force to show the season after, to really display what this split has consisted of. So we'll just follow Jan Fehler to the end of his lap. DRS open through the final turn. Where does he appear? Ooh, it is fourth. 108.287. Look at how close. I mean, it's going to be very close to the top due to the fact that it's such a short lap. So let's see. Gap to the leader is that 84 thousandths between Kiefer and Brendan Lee. Once again, those two crossing sort of the top. Formula Danny third. 1.3 tenths down. Jan Fehler 1.6, and then Carey 2 tenths down, and that's 2 tenths is first to fifth. Very nicely done indeed. Still some time to come on the board. 5 minutes to go.
It's quite strange. Steve just decided to come in. He literally did an outlap and an inlap. Whether he made a mistake and forgot to change his tyres, I do not know. But Marek is setting his another flying lap as we speak. Braking for his first corner, it's so difficult. It's all about getting an early turn in, and it's so easy to get yourself an unnecessarily penalty or poor lap time by cutting or extending the corner. Very late braking now for turn 4, just getting the car nicely turned in, which he's done quite well. Little bit on the grass, it isn't going to help. Turn whatever it is, 6.
That's 6, yes, fair enough.
Well, I got there eventually. It's about scrubbing off the speed. You just need to change down gear, and that'll allow the car to engine brake into the corner. And if you're able to trail brake Kodiak around this track, it really does help an awful lot. You'll see a lot of the drivers shifting down to second, not because they need to, it's because it helps the engine and the trail braking, getting the car pointed into the corner. Just crossing the final sector, the second to last sector now. Marek is coming up towards the line. It doesn't look particularly quick. Is he going to dive into the pit? Yes, he is.
So that's
more of a, I don't know, maybe he was just testing, seeing how the lap is. It hasn't the evolution hasn't been as high as it could be. There's still a few more minutes to go. We see a Sauber going out, and a Red Bull as well.
Sorensen has come out. Guest driver in this race, as we had last time, David Teniza. He's driving a Red Bull this time, as both of the Ferraris. He was in one of the Ferraris last week. They are both taken by Carey and by Ressi. Ressi has not put a time on the board. I wonder whether we're going to get mixed conditions. We've of course got the top 10 times on the board. I wonder whether drivers outside of the top 10 are hedging their bets on mixed conditions for the race. They know what the weather is. The sky is very dark, so kind of makes me think we are due rain here in Brazil. Interlagos is exceedingly prone to it, probably more prone to it than Silverstone is, and any British residents will appreciate that one. But then again, saying that, a few people coming out. We've got Formula Danny, as we can see here, then Matt Sorensen, non-runner Aresi, and Tino Norkarinen has brought the Mercedes out. He's on softs, interestingly, but again, if we're going to get mixed conditions next time around, that's not entirely a surprise. So they'll want to hang on to the softest compound they possibly can. Also, the strategy is completely up in the air. It's I think this is going to be definitely down more to car setter than it is strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see Max actually is, like you were saying about the strategy of the race, is still in the pits. He did exactly the same last time out, and it seemed to be work okay for him. He got a decent, he got P10 last time, so he did get some points. It'll have more of an effect as we have more drivers here, so hopefully the drivers who are gambling on that strategy will be able to make up to some time in the race. We've got Brendan Lee out. He's coming up towards just via a final corner, penultimate corner. It's not really the final corner, but it sort of is.
Make it be mine.
Yeah, it's turn 12, but you have 13, 14 and 15, which are just not really
cool. They're not turns, are they? They're just slight deviations in the straight. Let us follow our new champion. Then he was ground champion 3 rounds ago. It is Brendan Lee into first turn. A bit of a lockup then on the left hand side, but continues anyway through the SNRSs into the Curva del Sol, turn 3 onto the Reta Oposta, the long straight. These names I can never pronounce correctly. In this many seasons I've done, I still can't get them right. Turn 4 in the Descida del Lago. Then turn 5, which is a fully flat left-hander, unless it's, even in the rain I think it's fully flat. Right, 6, Ferradura, 7, can't even pronounce that, not even going to try. Then it is 8 and 9. Back downhill for the Perineo. Formula Danny has broken 108. 107.988. Very nicely done in the Sauber. Staying on board with Brendan Lee through 10. Downhill through Michello in 11. Over to the right-hand side. He's got someone ahead of him. Oh, it's one of the McLarens. Good. I think it's going to be Jan Fehler, but I think he's far enough ahead not to disrupt him too much. Through John Shout, 12, 13. Now 14. Runs over the road straight. Does he? I thought he was coming in then, but he's straight-lined it. DRS open. Brendan Lee's done it again. 107.943 with 20 seconds on the clock. Formula Danny was close, but still not close enough.
Yeah, Formula Danny's still going at it. He's coming towards the final sector now. He's got about 16 seconds left. What can he do? We see Caro. What a lap time by him.
108 dead. You can't get more closer to 108 than that. He's retired the car. He should have brought that home before doing that. And Formula Danny's backed off. So, yeah, Formula Danny was not confident about it. Will start on the front row. Where's Marcel Kiefer? Non-runner's retired his car. He's down there in 13th. Photon up to 9th. 108.3. Matt Sorensen's retired the car. What does Marcel Kiefer do? He does not improve. He remains in 4th position.
I wonder what Donoso's going to do. He's on the soft compound tyres. Can he go quicker? We'll find out any second. It's really quick. And he has. He's got P10 on that soft compound tyres. That could help him an awful lot during the race with a very competitive tyre choice for the start. Is any drivers going to knock him outside of that top 10? I don't think so. Max is out. Look at all the traffic he's got. He's got a Renault in front. In fact, is this tactics from the Renault team? It may very well be. He's got the slipstream at the moment. It's not looking overly quick. That's going to put him near the bottom, I think, for this lap time. And it's he's put him 15th, but the rest he didn't really set representative time. But look at that, Kodiak.
Wow.
What we're used to. The top 10 within, top 13 within that magic 1 second. And the top 3, you couldn't even blink that fast.
No, that is exactly it, isn't it? It is 400ths of a second, not even 400ths of a second is the top 3. Brendan Lee, yet again, when you think someone is going to better him, Formula Danny held that pole spot for a brief moment, and it was then snatched from him with 20 seconds on the clock by that incredible lap by Brendan Lee. So we're just waiting for the last of the cars to retire or return. Steve has retired his car, and that'll be Max returning to the pits then in the Renault. A minute still on the clock. Just got to wait for that to count down before qualifying is, and there it is. Qualifying is now confirmed as over. Wow, once again, the top of the PT tree does not disappoint.
For Englishman gets P1 once again. Formula Danny, after a few rounds, he clearly hasn't lost his pace. He's still right on it. Carey, another fantastic qualifying from the Spaniard. Marcel Kiefer, the first of the Germans, a fraction behind. Steve, the second of the Hungarians in P5. Mads Sorensen, last year's pole sitter, 108.3. I don't think he'd be happy with that. Jan Fehler, Marek, Photon, and Donoso round out the top 10. With everyone outside the top 10, I would think opting for the soft players, maybe expecting rain. Kodiak
would not be at all surprised. That looked dry to me.
Looks dry. A lot of cloud cover though.
That's what I'm thinking, is we could well be seeing changeable conditions, but at the moment that is dry. So we will see then. We don't know, we don't get told what the weather forecast is going to be unless a kind driver tells us so, which none of them have this season, which is absolutely fine. It may add another element of suspense and kind of unpredictability for us in the commentary box. But no rain at the moment. We will see if that changes as the race continues. So now the 30-second countdown begins. It's nearly halfway through now. So ready or not, for the final time in season 15, we will be heading to the grid to get this incredible race on this magic circuit underway. 5 more seconds for everybody to finish whatever changes they want to make. Ready or not, here we go then for the final time. 3, 4, 5 lights. Wind them up and let them go. A very good start there by Brendan Lee. Already cuts off Formula Danny. Did not want to leave that to chance there. No, Marcel Kiefer flies through, banged into the side of the Sauber, but gets that really thrown straight back at him. And wow, that was Brendan Lee already capitalising on that little ruckus between the Sauber and the Force India. Look at that. That's Steve in the house trying to do something on the inside of turn 4. Doesn't quite get the move done. Whoa, that's Carey that's flown wide. He's going to lose a few positions as a result of that. But he's carrying on unharmed. Look at that side by side. That's Kiefer and Steve. They're banging now. The switchback on the Haas is on the inside for turn 8. What a beautiful move. And Kiefer's still under pressure by Sorensen and the Williams. And there is Carey trying to make up for the positions he's already lost. Wow, it is happening everywhere.
Absolutely, we've got 3 wide, 2 wide, 4 wide. We don't know what to say at the moment, but they all seem to have just about slotted into single file. However, saying that, it looks like Carey in the Ferrari is trying to make a move on Sorensen in the Williams. Marcel Kiefer's got a fantastic toe on Steve. He's catching up at quite a rate at the moment. Maybe he's got lower downforce settings and trying around the outside. He needs to be careful that Steve doesn't tap his rear tyre and he goes spinning round. No, he doesn't. Look how
well played.
Fantastic. Steve has a great drive off the corner though. He's going to come right out back.
Whoa!
Kiefer's went to the defensive line and Steve has a look.
Whoa!
Look how late he's braking and he's not able to make the move done, and Kiefer gets his elbows out and pushes back to try a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We lost you for a little bit there, Hamish. Hopefully your internet holds out. Matt Sorensen had a great ringside seat for that. And stays right in contention with the Haas. Then he's in 5th position and Marek's in trouble. He's lost a position to Tino Locarina. Tino has had a terrible, he started down in 11th. He's actually on the mediums, interestingly. He's still side by side with the Renault. Banging wheels as they come through turn 10. Now through Mugello, and the Mercedes has lost out. I mean, he's on very hard tyres. That's not really a surprise. Interesting choice if it's changeable conditions, but look at the sky. That is very, very dark. We will see if the rain does fall. Who knows what's going to happen. Formula Danny with the fastest lap. He wants to chase down Brendan Lee, and he has done. Look at that. He's already within half a second. DRS now available to our drivers. And wow, Steve and Marcel Kiefer side by side, well, still fighting that, but they're 2 seconds behind Formula Danny and Brendan Lee.
Absolutely. I hope my audio is okay because you're quite angry.
Oh, wow. I think Discord is having a bit of a hairy canary at the moment. And Teniza, and look at this battle going on towards the back. That's Aresi and David Teniza and Max and Raven. Max has had an awful start right the way down there in last, and lovely move there on Raven. Raven probably a little bit rusty. We haven't seen him for a while. So as you can imagine, it is going off all over the place. The Sauber of Formula Danny keeping Brendan Lee company at the front, with 2 seconds back to Marcel Kiefer in the Force India, still accompanied by the House of Steve. Then it's Matt Sorensen and Jan Fehler. What a great run for him. What's his star? Wrong one. Where is that position change? He's up. He's in one position. But Carey, his race is getting from bad to worse.
Yeah, P7, not good at all. And it looks like Photon got the DRS. I don't know what happened though, because he seems to be further behind after the DRS than he was before. That's not meant to happen. Denoso having a look on the inside of Photon. Photon's gone very, very deep into the corner. That would have given him a warning. And Denoso, in fact, gets himself a penalty. As Renault of Marek comes through, he gets Denoso on the outside, and this is going to get Photon on the inside. Yes, he is. Denoso almost pushing the Renault forwards in this race, and 3 wide into this corner really is not ideal at all, and they've somehow kept it clean.
Yeah, that was a very strange penalty there by Denoso. I was actually on board with him at the point that triggered, so I suspect he'll get that one appeal. It was a bit odd that he got that penalty where he did, but never mind, that's the nature of the beast. On they continue. Whoa, Aresi's round! Aresi has lost it. He was there at 13, he was getting very, very sideways in the Ferrari. There was impact, but I didn't see any front wing bounce off, but if he's lost any front wing, that will be exceedingly painful here.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of high-speed corners. It's a high downforce circuit, so you really need that front wing. Danny is so close behind Brendan Lee as well. They seem to be, it's almost like a train at the moment with the front two. I'm so pleased that Danny hasn't lost any, not that he would lose any like skill or whatever after his small absence, but I'm so pleased to see that he's right back on it. I've seen him practicing today, so he's clearly it clearly paid off. You've still got Sorensen and Steve so close to each other, but a small gap to the McLaren of Jan Fehler and Carey. P7, very much a recovery drive now. He would really want to get a podium, I would think, to round out a pretty successful season by Carey, I would say, in that Ferrari. Started off a bit shaky, but he's improved so much, Kodiak, over the season.
He's hanging on in there. He's, as I say, a fairly bad start, as we've already said, but he's still there. I can't see any obvious damage on the front wing, so whatever the trouble is related to the condition of the car. He's on the back of that 4-car train. Photon is 2.5 seconds behind this, so he's not in a position where he has to defend, but he does look like he's struggling to maintain the pace of the 3 ahead. That Fehler is still keeping, look at that, the McLaren right with the Mercedes, getting a good run through the center S's, but not able to do anything with it. It's Tunisia and non-runner. Oh, go on.
No, I was just commenting on that exact battle you just saying, Tunisia non-runner.
Yeah, they've swapped positions, and look at that. Danny is within 4 tenths of Brendan Lee. He's been there or thereabouts all race long. The fastest lap of the race went to the Sauber earlier on, and he is really keeping Brendan Lee very, very true. Brendan is kind of used to getting into the front and running off into the distance. He's not having that luxury today. But of course, if the rain falls, then that is going to really... Oh, a Resi. Oh, that's never what we want to see. But it's so easy to do. It's such a tricky circuit, this. The undulation changes on so many corners. It is very easy just to run that little bit wide too often.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a fantastic battle, which you probably highlighted, Kodiak. From P8 down to P11, all to play for. Donoso's been trying a few moves on Merrick. You've had Tim trying a few moves on Donoso. Nothing's paid off yet, but Tim now has the DRS on the esports podium sitter from last year, and nothing has came of that just yet.
Carey is in. Oh, that was a stop-go penalty for Carey. Oh, that's it. Strange.
That's quite severe.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So that's going to drop him right the way towards the back. Aresi's already been in, so both of the Ferraris having a pretty torrid day, I think it's fair to say. But here we go, back up to the front then. Formula Danny still keeping Brendan Lee honest as they come through Perinino. Turn 9, now back up the hill to turn 10 again. Whatever it is these two have done, it's really nip and tuck between these two. Again, all eyes still looking up to the sky. Is that rain going to come? Is there going to be any rain? Of course, we don't know. And it has the potential, the only reason I keep mentioning that is it has the potential to completely shake the order up. And if it does fall, it's going to be a matter of when and how each driver's strategies come into play. Oh, Fulmer Danny's getting a good run on DRS on Brendan Lee. Is close right in under the rear wing of the Mercedes, now through 1 and 2. And then left to 3. Marek brings his car in. So that's going to drop him quite a long way down because he's in quite a deep battle there. DRS open on the Sauber. Can he do anything? He's a little bit too far back before he gets to the defeated Largo. Turns 4 and 5. So Brendan Lee, whilst able to run his own line, he's really can't relax for a second with that Sauber looming large in his mirrors.
No, absolutely not. And the nature of this track as well really does hinder the likes of people like Danny, because there's a lot of dirty air which you have to contest with. So it isn't necessarily Danny losing pace, it's the fact that his car isn't sticking the way he wants to stick. So by the time you get the DRS, you're just a little bit too far to really capitalise, but Brendan is getting some fantastic exit speed. As you can see, Danny a little bit sluggish on the X12 there.
Looking back at this battle here, Steve Mad Sorensen and Jan Fehler all in this battle. Marcel Kiefer, of course, at the front of it. And is that Jan coming in the McLaren? It is from 6th position. The McLaren comes in. Let's see then. No damage on the car, so let us see what tyres he goes on to. And I assume it's going to be softs. It is indeed. It's the yellow mark soft tyres going on to the McLaren. That, of course, drop him quite a long way down. That's going to drop him behind the battle that has Raven, Max, non-runner David Teniza. Actually, they're not too far off the back of the battle he was in. Wow! Carey from 15th on the soft tyres, clocking up the new fastest lap of the race. That'll be an interesting marker then for the front two, because they're going to have to come in pretty soon. It could be that they burn the best out of those supersofts. Oh, Photon gets his name on the penalty board. That's going to hurt. He's there in the 6th position with Donoso right on his tail. Donoso, of course, getting his name on the penalty board early, and Raven getting on the penalty board now. So you could just see even the best struggle to keep it clean here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the way this track is laid out, it's quite easy to go wide, and in some ways it's quite inviting, especially in the first sector where there's a lot of areas where you can go wide and gain a little bit of time. Unfortunately, that has the side effect of you do get the penalties, and they clock up very quickly indeed. We actually did see that last season with quite a few drivers getting penalties. Formula Danny into the pit, very interesting. Yep. Around laps 6 to 10 is where you can expect 2 stoppers to come in, especially if they're going on to the soft compound tyres, which Danny and Carey have done so far. Again, another fastest lap time by Carey, and he's 29 seconds behind the lead. It's about a 22-second time loss, with Merritt getting a penalty as well.
Oh dear, but Brendan, Formula Danny has put himself right in traffic. He's right behind Max in 10th position. So if he does manage to get the pace that he needs from those fresh tyres, he's got to clear that Renault, and he's got to clear him now. The Renault's on the medium tyres as well, so Max may not fight Formula Danny, as you drivers do know who you're realistically in a battle with, and you will know fairly quickly, or your engineer can tell you that they're on different tyres to use, so you kind of get the idea. And there he goes, he's going to throw on the inside of Jun Xiao. That was very nice. He made a statement of intent very, very early on. Marcel Kiefer and Brendan Lee both in. It looks like everyone's going for a similar idea. Oh, was that Brendan held? I think Brendan got held for, I think it was Donoso that came in. Wow, Brendan Lee, of course, is going to fall a long way down. Now, Supersoft still on the Mercedes? Really? Can you just double check race director for me? Because I'd be surprised if he's still on the Supersofts. That is Raven that's just gone past, but Formula Danny is 3 cars down the road.
I can confirm at the moment Brendan is on the super soft tyres. That could only suggest rain or a catastrophic pit. Well, I don't want to say what I was going to say, but that would be good. He's just overtaken Raven with a very racy move around the outside.
Wow, he's got to get on with it then. He's going to have to come into the pits again. And someone's had trouble up there at turn 8 by the look of the tyre marks on the floor. Well, Matt Sorensen now... Oh yeah, Danny and Steve, his fellow countryman, he's nailed the ass there on the exit at turn 10. Very nicely done there. He's not hanging around at all. The rest, he gets another penalty on the board. The new leader of the race is Matt Sorensen. He's in the Williams with Supersofts on his car, so he's going to have to come into Donoso. He's gone... Ooh, I thought he was going to fly off the road there. Well, there you go. Formula Danny is not hanging around. Steve brings the house in. Where is Brendan Lee? He's got a face full of Renault. He's got now behind Max.
Danny trying to move on non-runner. Sorry, Kodiak up the inside with DRS assistance as well. Non-runner, of course, on the medium compound tyres. That's a very solid move there by Formula Danny. Exactly what he needed to do. And Brendan Lee has got a fantastic move. Max, that is so close. Almost, well, there was contact from the Renault and Mercedes, but it hasn't seemed to have cost him too much. That would be catastrophic if he was to suddenly spin round.
Yeah, absolutely, but Brendan's having to fight through traffic. It's the last thing he wanted. But that is the nature of the beast, though. Formula Danny is now just 2 cars up the road. So non-runner lies in between the two. Non-runner on those mediums that he would have started on. There is Formula Danny. He's been absolutely flying since he got on those tyres. Now that is David Teniza in the Red Bull directly ahead. So what's that, 1.5, no, not even that, 1.1 seconds between the two. Danny has got to be careful. He's still negative fuel a tiny bit. What's Brendan on? He's a lap in the good. That's actually slightly unusual. We're used to seeing Brendan burn his fuel.
And Raven Kodiak are currently in mid-move, coming up to the first corner, and that is move done by Marcel Kiefer from McLaren of Jan Fehler. Very close indeed on presumably fresh soft compound tyres. I think, Kodiak, I haven't kept a track. He's got the DRS. Raven has got DRS, but it looks like the McLaren Honda engine seems to be a little bit quicker. It's not the Renault.
You had to think about that, didn't you?
I did indeed.
Oh, Formula Danny's already nailed David Teniza. Wow, before they came into turn 8, whilst we were looking at Jan Fader coming past Raven, I think Raven kind of let that one go. And straight away, the Sauber had flown past the Red Bull. Now you're getting me saying Renault. And Formula Danny now catching to the back of the second Mercedes, Tino Nurkarinen. These two have crossed swords many times on track before. Of course, Tino going for the immediate. Whoops! That's a bit of oversteer there by the Sauber, but has kept that one on track. And that's Matt Sorensen's brought his car in side by side. That's Brendan Lee on non-runner. The Super Soft on the Mercedes, of course, they're working well. He's going to get the DRS open and make sure he completes the move. Matt Sorensen, where is he? He's going to go on. He's going on to mediums apparently. Interesting. He's not convinced that the softs would last. Fair enough. How long realistically will the softs last for?
Oh, it's hard to say. I would say the softs could probably last till around 16, 17 Kodiak, but it very much depends what sort of strategy. You can make the strategy last much longer if you're more conservative on the tyres. And it's one of the tracks where you can do that, where you just put a little bit less steering angle in. You accelerate it a little bit later, short shifting, all that kind of stuff really makes a huge difference around this track. Because of the high speed corners, we've got Formula Danny on the back of Tino Nurkarinen at the moment, and Donoso is just ahead of him. Nurkarinen with a little bit of oversteer, and you can see how quickly Danny's able to catch up. Is he going to try and move around the outside? It's always
that was close.
Difficult, with Donoso coming in from the lead. Now, who's going to be the latest of the late breakers? We'll find out any second. No, still side by side.
Wow, that's close. That's very close.
And they have somehow not made contact with a penalty.
That was David Teniza with a speeding in the pit lane penalty. Didn't slow it down before the limit. Wow, the Sauber's blasted past the Mercedes, heading down to turn 4, but Tino's got the inside line, makes the Sauber run wide, still side by side as they then come through 5. That's Brendan Lee that's gaining on the pair of them in the background, and Danny does it before they get through Ferradura, turn 6, and the Sauber now in the lead. Now this is going to be very interesting, because of course Brendan is running the Super Softs. He started on those tires, on Super Soft tyres. He's got to come in again, so he has got to really open up a huge gap at the front of the field to hope to hang on to the win. But Formula Danny is he's already got quite a decent gap to Tino Nurkarinen. Look at that.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if Nurkarinen decided to hold up Danny ever so slightly. Of course, being Brendan Lee's teammate, we'll find out very soon when Brendan comes to battle, Tim, because he definitely.
Whoa! Tino's in trouble.
He's almost went into his teammate, and that would have been catastrophic.
Just a bit, and Raven brings his car in, but Tino rejoins. Non-runner's gone past. That's Marcel Kiefer going past in the Force India. Oh, that could have been rather nasty, but Tino manages to keep it out of the wall and out of his fellow competitors as Raven and Aresi brings his car in again. But interestingly, that's 1.2 or just under 1.3 seconds between Brendan and Formula Danny. He's not in DRS range yet, but Formula Danny, we've seen the pace he's got. We haven't seen Brendan's name come up on the fastest lap board, interestingly, but of course he has been fighting his way through the traffic, so that in itself is not entirely a surprise. But he has been pushing like mad to get through the traffic and to catch up with Formula Danny. How much of the decent life of those tyres is still left? That is the burning question at the moment.
I don't think very much, Kodiak. If you really want qualifying tyres, lap 6 or 7 is about the max you can get for optimal grip with those super soft tyres. So to be honest, I'd say Brendan's already running those tyres a little bit thin. They're still usable, but they're not as usable as they were. There's a fantastic battle as well, which is P11 up to P8 as well, Kodiak. So you may want to check that if it's not too close.
Oh my goodness. There's a Photon nearly pushing Matt Sorensen. Whoops! As the Sauber goes a little bit deep on the exit of turn 2 through the center S's. He nearly ran to the back of the Williams earlier on. So that's lost him a tiny bit of momentum there. That is Marek on Carey as well. Renault versus Ferrari coming through turns 4 and 5 now. Back up the hill again. And there in the background you can see Donoso as well. So the Force India is trying to catch up to the back of this particular pack. Wow, there's battles going on everywhere. There's, you've got battle here, which Jan Feder's been on the back of for a while. That's, what is that? That's third down to 6th. Kiefer, non-runner, Neil Karedian and Failer all in this particular battle. And everybody seems to be getting the tail to get a bit loose. Is the McLaren going to have a move on the Mercedes? Looks like he's done a decent run up the hill onto the start-finish straight. DRS open for the pair of them. Tino's defending, but Jan's gone for the inside line. That's surely is going to be an easy move for the McLaren. If he can slow it down, yes he does. Simple move onto the beginning of the centre S's, and that is then 5th position for the McLaren.
Yeah, very well done indeed. Brendan's lap times have actually been pretty good. It's very low 1 minute 10s, whereas Danny's have fluctuated a little bit more. Obviously, he lost a couple of seconds while battling Timpin, the other Merc, who's now 9 seconds down the road. Wow, that is quite a lot.
Yeah, but if people are coming in twice, then that strategy could still work for Tino.
Yes.
So
yeah, very true.
It's all depending on when, stroke if, these guys are going to come in again. Brendan, we know, has got to. That's whether he intended to put those super softs on or whether his mechanics had a bit of a bad day. Either way, he's on the wrong tyre, unless, of course, that's incorrect and they're actually softs, which can unfortunately happen. Oh, Brendan's not had a good run coming through from Jun Sao. So, yeah, you can actually see, looking back from this camera, it's over a second just about between the Sauber and the Merc. Let's see if Brendan gets DRS as they come out the centre S's. Answer is no. He was not in DRS range at the point of detection. So Formula Danny yet again is getting his toe down.
Yeah, I think it's his tyre life, to be honest, Kodiak. He hasn't. He seems to have. He was 0.7 behind Danny, but he seemed to have lost that gap now. It's sort of a second and ever so slightly going up, and I can't see that he's particularly closing in on Danny. It doesn't look like Danny looks more planted at the moment, and I think that is due with tyre life.
Yeah.
I would also say the rain looks like it isn't coming, only because I would say it's a little bit lighter than it was in certain places.
Oh, the cloud cover, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can start to see a little bit of blue sky here and there. And Tino's strategy is looking very solid at the moment. He's been right behind non-runner for quite a long time now, and those two look like they have a similar sort of pace.
Absolutely, Failer has cleared them, and there you just saw coming into the shot, that was Max and Carey. Marek's on the back of the... Look at that! That is 7th to 12th in this shot. So that is Max, Carey, Marek, Mads Sorensen, Photon and Donoso all in this big train. Whoa, look at the Renault and the Ferrari. Oh, that was Max. Oh, wow, both of them getting very, very sideways. And there you've got Marek trying to get through the pair of them. It's pushing the Ferrari along the road. He's now going to go in between the Ferrari and his teammate. Whoa, this could get very, very messy into turn 12. Bangs into his teammate, gets through into 8th, and Max is off. Oh, and he's pushing the Ferrari again, but Max actually had gone right the way down to 12th, so Max won't be happy about that. You can now see the Renault at the back of this particular train. Oh my word, that's a lot going on. Whoa, the Photon!
If you've got Photon going on the inside after this penalty, trying to capitalise on that, you've got Donoso and the Force India trying some sort of switchback as well, but he gets that badly wrong. Photon, another look on Matt Sorensen in the Williams, he just pushes him wide. And that Donoso getting a little bit on the grass. He's going to have a look at Matt Sorensen, probably on the inside. No, he isn't going to wait for DRS, see if that can help him. At the top, you've got Marek and Carey pretty close as well. It's all going on in this battle.
Brendan's in the pits. Brendan's come in the pits, so whatever strategy he went for has backfired. And Tino's brought his car in. Max has brought his car in. I daren't look away. Yeah, Sorensen and Photon again. Photon having the inside for the first part of the centre S is still alongside, but the Williams is now very sideways. Photon jumping over the exit. The S's again. Don't know, so on the outside there's Brendan Lee coming in with soft tyres as well. Oh my word, that could get very ugly. And the Force India had to back out of there, bangs wheels against Brendan Lee. Oh my goodness me, how can we keep up with all this?
I don't know, but Brendan's going to have to look for a move. He's got the freshest tyres out of all these guys. So close to Matt Sorensen and Will Williams, but he gets a move, a little bit of late braking. Is he going to get Photon as well? No, he isn't. He's going to try a little bit of a switch at back, get a good drive off the corner, and he has done that indeed. Up the inside, very late braking, wheel banging, pushing the Sauber wide, and that's 2 positions. That's
Danny's
very
in.
well negotiated by Brendan Lee. Wow, that's interesting. I'm surprised he came in so early, but he's covered off, I think, from Brendan.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to come out in a better position than Brendan, purely because Brendan had to battle with the other drivers. And you've got Matt Sorensen again on Photon, down the back straight with the DRS. Wow, it looks like there's a little bit of an issue there by the Sauber, but that is move almost done. But the force of Donoso comes back at him.
I don't know where to look.
Another move. And Photon's coming back at the Williams driver. He's got the DRS right behind Donoso, but it looks like Sorensen's got that move now, and that sort of wheel bang.
Whoa, who's that that's off?
Ferrari drive. Is that Carey?
There was Carey, yeah. So it's going off everywhere. Tino has got his name on the penalty board. That's particularly rare. I don't know where to look. But equally, after the pit stops, Brendan Lee is still behind Formula Danny. He's 1.6, so it's probably even worse than before they came in. Danny indeed covered off Brendan Lee on fresh softs. So Feder and Marcel Kiefer assumedly have to come in again. Donoso now to 5th due to the battling of a big old pack behind them. Carey and Raven having a battle. Carey's in trouble by the look of that. He's very slow. Yeah, one of the rear tyres has gone. Assumingly his rear right. Failer has brought his car in. Oops, yeah, that's unfortunate. But what happens? That was close.
He almost hit Renault.
That's rather close then from the Ferrari, but Tunisia and who's that? Tunisia and Photon side by side coming into turn 1. The Red Bulls just managed to nose ahead of the Sauber, and looks like the medium runners are now starting to come good again. Photon struggling with that.
Tim non-runner, sorry, Kodiak, down the inside into turn 1 of a fresh super soft tyres. He needs to make this stick. He's got the fastest lap time. That is a fantastic move on the inside of a Red Bull racing car.
Oh my god, well, we did want an action-packed race to finish the season off, and my god, have we got it. It is going on everywhere. Brendan is falling back from Formula Danny. It's now over 2 seconds between the Sauber and the Mercedes. Marcel Kiefer leads the way in the Force India. It's the only opportunity I'm going to have to run through everybody. And Raven gets another penalty on the board. Danny is second, having just come out of the pits for the second time, this time on soft tyres. Brendan is in 3rd in the Mercedes. Donoso 4th. Matt Sorensen in 5th. Very short, and we've lost Carey. I'm not surprised after that puncture. He lost us so much time, he's decided to park the car and call it a day. Then Formula Danny now gets the fastest lap with a 109.7. David Tunisia with DRS open on the back of Sorensen, who is chasing Donoso. 7th is Photon, just seeing him go through the shot. There's the back camera looking back at Steve in the house in 8th. Failer after just coming out of the pits is in 9th as Photon gets himself another penalty. Looks like the race is going to be decided with penalties, it would seem. Raven in 10th position, he's in there somewhere. There he is in the Toro Rosso. Tino has been through the pits and flies alongside the Toro Rosso after the Cenaresis, after the Curva del Sol, and that is job done into 10th then on the super soft shot Mercedes. Non-runner in the Red Bull is just behind them, with Marek in the Renault 13th, Max in 14th, and Aresi's bad day continues in 15th, and I am going to die.
I know, really, Kodiak. There's almost too much action. It reminds me of Sochi last season.
Yeah,
that was a phenomenal race. Again, decided on penalties.
It was rather,
yeah. Strategy, Kodiak seems pretty good. He's already made a stop, and he's on the medium compound tyres. Possibly going to the end. I can't remember what lap he pitted in. I'm just going to quickly
Has
check.
Brendan got wing damage? Let's just have a look at the wing a minute, because he's nearly 3 seconds behind. All the elements look like they're there on the T-cam, but I wonder if he's got front wing damage. He's now 3 seconds behind. Don't get me wrong, I am taking nothing away from Daniel Beresnight, Formula Danny. He has been a god in this race, and not just by the fact that he's beating Brendan Lee, by the fact that he is beating everybody pretty damn comfortably, I think is fair to say. Yeah, Donoso is actually doing a pretty good strategy as well with the medium shot Force India. Brendan's got no answer, which is very, very rare. He's, like I said before, we're used to seeing his car just run off into the distance, and he is falling. He's at 3.2 behind Danny. Whatever setup Danny's run, it is winning for him at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be really good to see Donoso doing well today. He's had a few poor races. He has got that penalty that might affect him a little bit, especially considering how close the pack is. You've got likes Marcel, Kiefer and Steve very close. Kiefer's just picked up DRS, but he's nowhere near close enough to challenge for a move. You've got non-runner having a look at Raven for P10 for one world championship point. Is he going to make that move? Probably not into turn one unless he's feeling like Daniel Ricciardo, but he's got a car on his inside.
That's Marek in the Renault.
Notice, and that looked quite calm, to be honest, Cody. Yeah, that was a motorway shopping overtake, I would call that.
Well, Steve and Marcel Kiefer have swapped position. It looked like Marek was just about to nail Raven, and he did indeed as they came through turn 4. Through Interlagos, the super soft shot. Toro Rosso has had to bail out that one. Oh, a little bit wide. Is he going to let non-runner through in the Red Bull? Not quite. Manages to close that particular door. Oh, no, he didn't. I was just about to say he managed to close the door, but no. That was the Red Bull saying, no, I am still here. That position is mine.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see the gap with Sorensen, Donoso and Brendan Lee. Currently, Donoso is 5 seconds behind them up. But the amount of time Brendan's losing is... He's either having an issue or... Danny has got a lot more fuel, apparently, which could be wrong. But,
wow, he's running...
He's just losing time hand over fist at the moment, Kodiak. And Raven is in the pit.
He was on super soft tyres that were probably down to rubber bands by that point. Tunisia on the back of Sorensen, though. He's been there or thereabouts for a while. He's been chasing the tail of that Williams for quite a number of laps, and he is right there ready to strike. So we still have battling going on. Jan Fehler on the back of Steve as well. That's for 7th. That's the view from the McLaren, staring at the back of the Haas. So that could well have to be resolved on track as well. But the closest one we've got towards the front is Tunisia on the back of Sorensen, as they now come through Bica de Pato. It is at turn 10. Now through Michello, heading towards Jun Shao. And there in the... That's Donoso you just saw at the top of the shot there. Wow, that's absolutely amazing from these guys. That it's taken till lap 28 before I can breathe.
Yes, I know. And even now, we've still got some drivers very close. Let's have a look at Jan Fehler and Steve from McLaren with the DRS.
Oh, that's Tunisia on Sorensen, sorry. But Sorensen had to defend. He's got Marcel Kiefer right in his tail. And that's side-by-side failure as well. Can't see where Steve is from the shot, and Steve manages to stay ahead. God, can't look at everybody at the same time. Steve in the Haas jumps to the inside to defend against this charging McLaren, heading towards the Interlagos, turn 4, and the Haas is still there. Jan Fehler's hanging on, Steve is hanging on. Now Steve nudges ahead before they get up the hill towards Ferradura. Now the 2 inside lines for Jan Fehler. Can he get that position? Yes, he can. Can he hold it? Steve manages to get himself a penalty for good measure. And finally, Jan Fehler gets through to 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. While that was all happening, Donoso picked himself up another penalty.
Oh, no.
About 6 seconds of penalty. And with the grid as close as they are, that's going to drop him down to, well, roughly where his battle is.
Well, we're right with his battle is, yeah, with his teammate. Marcel Kiefer has gone past David Tunisia into 5th position. With these super soft tyres on, he's going to have DRS on the back of the Williams, so surely he's going to be job done way before he gets to the top of the centre S's. And watching them come through, braking's over turn 1. Yep, that is job done. 4th position then for Kiefer. Oh, that was close from Matt Sorensen, but Tunisia is still right there. He's going to get DRS on the back of the Williams, who in turn is going to get DRS on the back of the Force India. Kiefer's feeling the need to defend, interestingly, but no need to, as Marek now gets his name on the penalty board as well. It is still happening everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Timp has made 1 pit stop at the moment from the medium tyres to the super softs. I don't think he'll be able to make these tyres last till the end, or if he does, they'll be right on the limit. So I hope he can, because his strategy is, I think, could be quite good. But mate, if I was him, I would have gone onto the soft compound tyres and not the super softs, unless that is just for graphics showing us the wrong tyre choice. I will check with the
check the race director. That is usually correct. But still, Matt Sorensen has got that Red Bull for company. Marcel Kiefer is out of DRS range of the Williams. That's going to help Taniza with the charge. Then DRS open. Is he going to have a look on the inside of turn 1? There he goes. Can he get the thing slowed down? Yes, he does. Is the Williams side by side? No, that's a lovely move then by the Red Bull. David Taniza finally gets past the Williams up into 5th position. Looking back from the Red Bull, the Williams is now going to have DRS. It's going to help him keep in contention. Whoa, that gets a bit close coming into Interlagos, but no impact there. Taniza then, he joined the season only a couple of rounds ago. Oh, Steve!
Sorry, Kodiak, that looked quite strange. Tim had the move done, but the Haas seemed to get a little bit on the curb with a little bit of oversteer, and that put him
spat him out
the track. So I don't think there was contact from the Mercedes there. So that was a driver error, that looked like.
Is Tim actually on the super softs?
No, he is. Yes, he is.
He is.
He is on the super soft.
That's going to be interesting to see if he can make him last.
Lap 20. I don't think he will, Cody.
That's a tall ask. 17 laps or 16 laps on super softs is quite an ask, but hey, that's all part of the game then. On board with Sorensen, he's still chasing that Red Bull. He's kept within 3 tenths, coming back into turn 1, and Steve has actually brought his car in. So whether Steve did suffer damage with that altercation with Tino Nogorino, let's just see if he changes a wing. Those medium tyres I would have thought would have lasted, but they are looking fairly worn. And Supersoft's going back on the Haas, no front wing change, so it looked like it was just a simple mistake. He just wanted better rubber.
Does look that way. I mean, Steve was spat out, so but like you said, he didn't get a front wing change. So yeah, he is on the super softs. He's going to be very, very quick. 5 laps of pretty much qualifying pace now for him. He's in P13. P10 isn't too far up the road. He's got the big gap he's got to contend with is Photon to Max, which is about 7 seconds. But after that, you know, he could get P10, maybe even P9, 8, maybe even 7 or 6 with the right run. So keep an eye on Steve in the hand.
5 laps to go. This race has absolutely flown by, but it's taken really till now for us to kind of get down to only having like one battle going on. Although saying that, Marcel Kiefer is not far off the back of his teammate, the Force Indians.
King-Kodiak.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to. That one's still going on. The Williams is not been shaken off the back of the Red Bull. So still DRS is helping out Matt Sorensen stay in touch with Taniza, but Kiefer's on the back of Donoso. So super softs on Kiefer's car, they must be getting pretty damn worn by now. But of course mediums on Donoso's car, he's up into 3rd, so a decent run for him. The rain did indeed not arrive, so that hasn't played a factor. Wow, that's close. Kiefer on the... I doubt Donoso's going to let Kiefer go, so this is going to be a battle between the 2 teammates. Of course, the teammates for the final time in this season.
Kodiak, I mean, is it just me, or is Donoso meant to be in a hat?
No, you're thinking of a season ago, I think. All right, or are you? Either way, he's in a Force India. Whoops!
But there's a battle going on at the moment between apparently the 2 teammates. He's not on the inside. Donoso, a little bit. You can't expect him to be that racy on those medium tyres. But I'm sure Donoso is meant to be in the hat.
Well,
He's been partnered with Steve.
Double check the standings for. Oh, in the background, that's Taniza and Sorensen again, screaming down towards Interlagos. Non-runner gets his name on the penalty board. The Williams on the outside of the Renault, and there you saw Jan Failer in the background waiting to pick up the pieces, and the Williams is back ahead of the Red Bull again. Very nicely done. And there is Steve, speaking of which, getting his name on the fastest lap board. The McLaren's got a decent ringside seat for this, but he's got lovely, fresh, soft tyres on his car. He could well pick up the pair of them if they carry on fighting. 4 laps to go, or less than 4 laps to go. And yeah, it is still all to play for throughout the field.
Absolutely, Steve is really making and capitalising on those super soft compound tyres. Photon's closing into Max as well. He's closed that gap by a second, so it's all going into Steve's favour. So far. I think it's going to be a tall order for him to get points now, though. The McLaren of Jan Fehler, right on the back of Torniza. He's only done one race, but boy, that Red Bull driver seems to be pretty good. Hopefully we can see him again next season. They're all braking pretty late. He's going to get another dose of DRS. Going down this sort of, well, it's not really a back straight, but it's sort of a back straight.
Near enough.
Yeah, he's going to get the DRS on Mad Sorensen. Is he going to make a move? Sorensen's gone defensive for a second, but isn't able to make anything stick. And wow, that was close, Kodiak.
That was a little bit closer than the McLaren, absolutely. And he's still very close now, coming back up the hill towards Ferragura again. And the Mercedes, the McLaren rather, Mercedes, I've got that in my head. The McLaren thinking about an outside move. Oh, he had a think about it on the inside of turn 8, but the Red Bull very much slammed the door shut.
Danny, he's lost. Why has Danny lost 2.5 seconds? Almost 3 seconds to Brendan Lee.
I don't know on that one. We think he's had an issue somewhere as Raven retires his car in the pits. He has lost a big old chunk of time, but still going, doesn't bring his car in. Why should he? He's on the penultimate lap. And a problem in sector 1 apparently. So we're on board with Danny. Can't see anybody that's in a position where they shouldn't be. So don't know what's happened there.
Looking, Kodiak Fehler looking at Torniza. This time, can he make the move stick into turn 1? They are side by side. The Red Bull goes a little bit deep. That's going to give him McLaren pretty good drive. And he still has that drive off the corner with the DRS. They both have DRS. Has the McLaren got lower downforce? It looks like it's pretty even at the moment. Who's the latest of the late breakers? And what a move. Maybe the Red Bull's going to have the outside, but that looks like Jan Fehler has made a pretty solid move just there, Kodiak.
Torniza had to really work to make that very difficult for Fehler, and indeed Fehler kept it clean. They both kept it clean. Very nicely done. It's less than 2 laps to go. Sorensen did give himself 1.1 seconds between himself and the McLaren. So can Jan Fehler shut that down before the checkered flag falls? There is Formula Danny. He's been leading since the pit stop phase. There you see in the background is Brendan Lee. Final lap then. I think it's 3 miles before the Sauber. No, not even that, because it's a 110 lap. I can't remember how long the circuit is. It's been that exciting. I wasn't far off. Oh, Danny's either just taking it a little bit easier, or Brendan has suddenly decided to push as that gap is falling, but it's got to really disintegrate before the Mercedes can take the top spot. But up the hill then through Ferragura into turn 7, now into 8. The tyres are pretty well shot to pieces by now. Through the Parino for the final time. Uphill into turn 10, the Pico de Tato. I can't even say it. Pico de Pato. Now Mugello, turn 11. Jun Xiao of 12. Onto that back straight. That's not exactly very straight. It's got 3 turns in it, but never mind, you know what I mean. So then, for the final race of season 15, your winner is Formula Danny, very closely followed by Brendan Lee in the Mercedes. Marcel Kiefer, great drive to take home 3rd in the Force India. There is Donoso, but of course his position is going to change due to penalties. Matt Sorensen in the Williams comes home. He's going to be elevated to 4th. Jan Fehler was right there by 3/10. Is given 5th position to Niza. Oh wow, that's Tino Nocarina throwing his car into the wall. Taniza takes 8th, then there is a very battered Mercedes for 8th. Max in 9 in the Renault with a non-runner in the Red Bull 10. Marek is 11, Steve 12, Photon in the Sauber 13, and Aresi, a race to forget for the PS4 legend, comes across the line. He's tried to throw his car into the wall, the bot won't let him, and he bounced off the wall at the end anyway. What a race!
Action-packed. I mean, it's amazing what a good driver turnout can do. Not that we've had boring races, but that was, I think, Kodiak, one of the best of the season. As we go to the podium.
Undoubtedly. Well. We've seen these 3 occupy the podium positions before, but not in this order, or not for a while. And we've seen the Sauber take the top spot. But what an incredible race it's been. The Hungarian flag occupying that centre stage. And absolutely rightly so. Formula Danny was in a class of one. He kept Brendan Lee company for a while, but then just ran off. Brendan didn't seem to have an answer for him. And there are your confirmed finish results, the top 5. And Max, the only people not with a penalty on the board. Whew. Wow.
What a race. I must admit, driver of the day, although a little bit disappointing because of his penalties, has got to be Donoso. He made that strategy work so well, Kodiak. In the end, a lot of drivers did do that two-stop we were talking about, like Brendan Lee and Marcel Kiefer. In fact, Danny also did a two-stop. So quite different to last season, where the one-stop was the fastest strategy. This season, the two-stop is undoubtedly the fastest strategy. What a race it has been.
What a race indeed.
Barely had a chance to breathe.
Yeah, but that's the way we like it, let's be honest.
Wow, absolutely.
Who wants to... Oh my god. We've got a lot of people wanting to talk to us. Tim, Kiefer, Fela, Donoso and Danny. Can you grab them in for a second? I'm just going to grab my interview music whilst they're going to be in a conversation. Let's see if we can interrupt them. Go on then, Hamish, grab them over. Grab them all over. We want to talk to them all. Oh, none of them were talking. You spoiled our fun, gentlemen.
Because I told him not to. Kodiak.
I
did it.
You deceived me at the last. Never mind. Let us talk to our drivers. What an incredible show that we have been screaming about for the last hour. First of all, I am going to go to Mr. Donoso, Hamish's driver of the day. Well, you really did do your best to make that single stop strategy work. How was that race for you?
Good evening, guys. I was planning to do the soft medium since the debut of my practicing, and I didn't qualify well. I was hoping to get around P5, P4 maybe. So that wasn't perfect, but then I knew that my strategy was in a way better and could gain some place without battle. That worked well, but did some mistakes. Had 2 penalties that one should be removed, in my opinion. We'll see that in the stewards. But it was a great race. I knew that Marcel will pass me anyway because he was pretty much a second faster, so didn't want to battle because the guys behind were closing down, and should have been P4 but P6 at the end, so not bad.
Something we should explain, that some of the penalties can be appealed post-race, so some of the positions can swap round, but either way, great effort there, Donoso. Very well done to you. Dino Norkarinen, that race didn't quite go well for you, it has to be said. What happened to you, sir?
Good question. I don't know either. When Brendan was behind me, I just spun it by my own, which is I don't do that kind of mistakes often, so that pretty much bottled missed my chance for any good position. So, and when I pitted, I actually went for wrong tires. So.
No!
I went for supers when I tried to go for soft, so I lost like 10 seconds with my mistakes, and then if I removed that tire mistake, that would have been maybe for a podium, but I don't know. Still really good this season, and didn't finish that well, but looking forward to next season and gonna bounce stronger there.
Absolutely, even the greats make mistakes. Over to Jan Fela. We don't often get to speak to yourself, so how are you feeling after that one?
Absolutely exhausted.
You are? We're absolutely chat. Well, I am. Amazing race though. So how are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was a bit annoyed by myself because of qualifying. The lap was decent, but I wanted more after some good runs on Friday or yesterday, I believe, in qualifying practice. Starting from P7 obviously was not optimal, and I was not sure if the two-stop strategy was actually worth it. But I didn't want to watch off my tires and just have some fun out there. And then I undercutted Mats and Marcel, and Marcel was actually then behind me, overtook me. I was like, okay, just let him pass, and I will just hang on this DRS, and then try to dive through the field alongside him if I'm able to keep up with him, which I did. Kind of. I was like 1-2 tenths per lap. I was like, oh, cool, what am I doing here? This is good pace today. And yeah, I dropped off a bit in the end. I think he went for super soft as well. I didn't dare to because I didn't trust my tire wear. And yeah, to overtake the others like Steve and Tino and Nono before they pitted, and then it took a bit too long for David Tunitza to pass him. Otherwise, I might have got, I could have got a chance to overtake Matt in the end as well. But P5 is a fantastic result. I think that was a base race for me this season, the best performance without doubt. And I desperately hope that Fabrizio doesn't get his panels removed so I can stay in P5.
Oh, great stuff. Congratulations to you. Marcel Kiefer, we usually stare at you much more than we actually did this particular race, but still a pretty solid result for you. How are you feeling, sir?
Okay. A podium is okay. I'm a bit angry about myself because in quali I messed up on the second run. I downshifted into second gear and it gave me too much wheel spin into the first turn, so I lost about 3 to 4 tenths there. Otherwise it would have been a shot for the pole, or at least P2, P3, something like that. In overall it was okay. The first stint wasn't the best, but the second one, the third one were quite alright. I had an incident with Carex at the first lap, and I'm going to talk to him after the race, because I don't think if we have some kind of incident we should talk about it and get a perspective of the other driver. So everyone is in the end with a cool down feeling out of this race without any aggressive emotions against other drivers. But I will stop talking about the race here because I want to mention something quite important, and I hope that AOR also posts this on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere else, I don't care. But I think we as a community, we should stay together, and I think all of us love the commentary style of Kodiak, and I saw your video yesterday about your situation. And so I asked the community, all the members, coordinators, drivers, whoever who enjoys AOR, the driving, maybe they are just spectators, maybe some are competitors, that every one of us just grabs, I don't care which currency you have, but around €5, pounds, dollars, whatever, and donates it to Kodiak because I don't want to see you quit. And with that, I want to say welcome season 16 and goodbye season 15.
Very kind of you there, Marcel. That's very kind of you indeed. The response I've had following that has been amazing, but that's a discussion for a different time. But the man of the moment, my driver of the day, the winner of today's race by an incredible performance, Formula Danny, you must be very happy with yourself.
Hello guys, yeah, thank you very much. It was, I guess, one of my best performances in the season. I only started to practice for this race today, but today, the whole day, I practiced and practiced. I tried every different setting and Brandon Lee was always faster. And I went for a half-hour break after I came back and found a very good setup with insane top-line speed, but still, it was very good in the corners. And I knew that if I don't mess up anything, I will have the race potential. And my tire wear wasn't good, so that's why my tactic was to underfuel the car quite a bit and attack in the first 2 stints in like very high fuel modes, and try to be very, very good with the fuel because I underfueled and I of course need to save it as well. But I knew that I need to undercut, I need to get through the traffic as fast as possible. And I got DRS a lot of times, so I could do very good fastest lap times. I was very shocked about the DRS lap times. The traffic was very good for me, and it was a little bit unluckier for Brandon. And in the last stint, I just pushed as hard as I could, and I saved as much fuel as I could. And I had a very scary moment. In one lap, I lost 3.5 seconds because I was basically driving from line to line. Like I didn't make any mistakes, but that time I touched the grass a bit and I nearly spun and I lost like 3.5 seconds. But that describes, even if I had the 6 seconds lead or something like that, I was always on the limit because Brendan is insanely fast and I couldn't fall asleep. I tried my best and I was just one with the car, and I'm very, very happy to end the season like that.
I imagine so.
Thank you very much for commentating. Thank you very much for clean racing by Timp. I had quite nice battles with Timp. I was on fresher tires, but still we had some side-by-side action. And yeah, see you in season 16, hopefully.
Oh, that you will. Oh, that you will. Wow, what an amazing way to see the season off for PC Tier 1. Barely got enough breath left in my lungs. But that is it for this season, this race, and quite possibly this game. Of course, next time that we will be back, we'll hopefully be on the new platform as long as it stands up to AOR. Testing it to make sure it's all okay. But until then, thank you very much to those that have been in the stream. It is a great pleasure just to commentate for you guys. Thank you very much, Hamish, for being in the box with me. It is a great pleasure to have had you with me all season long. Thank you, sir. And to our drivers for putting on what has been an amazing season from start to finish. It is a great honour and a pleasure to commentate for you guys. And we will... You're back.
Sorry, I had my mic muted.
You did.
Just one quick word from me. The work Kodiak does behind the scenes is invaluable. Obviously, all the splits on the PC side especially, they get a lot of input from Kodiak, being the commentary coordinator. So anyone who's watched any of the other splits, you have Kodiak to thank for bringing you that coverage. So thank you very much from my...
It is truly my pleasure. Thank you to everybody involved, from the top, from the coordinators, the moderators, for making these leagues happen. And we will be back for Season 16. There's plenty more racing from across the board from AOR as well. But until we meet again, thank you very much, and good night.